chat, because yes, it is going to be Kitrak. I don't know if standing in is the right word, but he's here playing with compLexity, as we all know. Had a little bit of a roster change. Kyle's right now actually killing it on BTS2, so you can listen to his casting. We're going to have compLexity going up against goPRO, and haven't heard of goPRO? Don't worry, no one's really heard of goPRO, but you should have heard of at least a couple of these players. Scourge McDuck has been around, Save has been around as well. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen the other three from time to time, but not as much as the other two. Either way, you know, here we go. It is going to be, guys, MDL, the NA qualifiers. Got a lot of games running simultaneously. Again, DC versus VGJ Storm are playing over on BTS2. We'll have Optic and Hooked playing as well. Schedule got a little bit messed up there, so it is going to be a little bit of overlap, and we can't do anything about that. But I'm Mikelorus, going to be your caster for this game, and look at what we have here. We have an IO very early picked up here from compLexity. You know, way back when they were just starting to really get good, like compLexity had been, you know, kind of bumpy for a long time, but then they had like a really, really sharp uptick. You know, they were working with a lot of IO. I'm pretty sure it'll still work just fine right now as well. goPRO, on the other hand, have something a little bit different. Bans are looking mostly normal. I think that Nature's Prophet is debatably a little bit, you know, more or less or whatever. But going with the Dark Willow, going with a Puck right off the bat, is pretty damn powerful. Puck usually wants to, if he can, get that Veil. And if you get Dark Willow with the Veil, then yeah, you can do some pretty seriously nasty things. Both these two heroes are also generally really good at dealing with IO. Now, of course, the CC from Dark Willow isn't going to be the fastest. Like, if you're going to try to get out of there with the tether and the relocate, then, you know, Curse Crown isn't really going to be doing you many favors. But for sure, this heavy, heavy magical set from goPRO can just obliterate heroes like IO. These super soft supports that don't get any gold. Heroes like Beastmaster, they can build magic resistance for the team, get a pipe and stuff like that, but ooh, it looks like goPRO are working with some seriously heavy nuking right now. Bans are out, Lifestealer. Seen him absolutely tear up everyone, really, like, regardless of whether or not he has a real vehicle. It is interesting to see compLexity ban out that Lifestealer while already having a Beastmaster, one of the probably better counters at dealing with the Lifestealer, since you do have that rage-piercing roar, but, you know, gonna take that one out anyway, along with the Bane. There's a lot of, you know, BKB piercing that could have been seen in this particular game, but isn't. We'll see what compLexity want to do with this IO, and we had a Lion. Interesting stuff. IO Lion, I mean, that quick disable is definitely going to be really, really nice up against that Puck. Pretty good up against the Dark Willow as well. Just got to get disable onto her before she's able to go into that Shadow Realm. So in that regard, you know, don't mind it too much. It is going to be a little bit clunky though. Lion with an IO isn't really that much offensive power. Of course, with IO, you have to really enable your cores if you want to be an offensive hero, and enabling a Beastmaster is okay, I guess. But that's about it. It's even not that good compared to some other lanes that you could be running. They could go for someone like a CK, but again, there's going to be a lot of AoE magic burst here from goPRO, a lot of control. So those illusions are going to be a little bit easy to just absolutely annihilate from the goPRO side.
5 seconds remaining.
Tell you what though, compLexity do have a lot of initiation. A lot of split push from this Beastmaster, and of course the IO, regardless of who the real partner is going to be. You know, you'll have a lot of pressure around the map. goPRO with the Rubik and the Dark Willow, as powerful as these heroes are, they're not really good at going into waves and very quickly dealing with those creeps. Puck is definitely a lot better, especially if he's able to get some sort of mobility. Outside the Blink Dagger, travels usually not seen until a little bit later, but for sure would be nice up against what compLexity is starting to build up here. But compLexity getting this really heavy pick-off style really needs some way to jam it home. They're currently lacking really any sort of scaling. Really lacking any sort of IO partnership right now, which is definitely going to be somewhat of a concern. You do want to have these like super tanky heroes. I mean, I'm pretty sure if compLexity, I mean, they even had the pick. I don't know. Maybe they could have picked up the Lifestealer for themselves. Like, that magic immunity would have been absolutely ridiculous. Right now, they absolutely need to pick up someone who's going to be, you know, either building up a hood, or has magic immunity, or has a BKB somewhere. Juggernaut, I guess, would be like the easy one. There you go. It's like, hey, well, the enemies are going mass magic damage. I wonder what magic immune hero we're going to pick up. Yeah, they're just going to go for the Jug. Pretty classic combo with the Lion. Isn't a terrible hero with the IO as well. You get some pretty broken healing, really, for the team once you drop that healing ward, get that tether amplification going. You can do some pretty powerful things. Of course, goPRO, they have a good amount of initiation of their own. You can, kind of just disregard a lot of it as the Juggernaut. Cursed Crown is really powerful, but not when you can just spin it off. I'm pretty sure if you Omni Slash, it just gets rid of it also. Although I could be wrong. It could follow you, and then, like, if the 4th crown triggers while you're Omni Slashing, then, like, I think anyone who's around you while you're in this, if it works like that, I don't freaking know. Either way, the Puck Coil, of course, is not something you're really worried about as the Juggernaut either, so pretty easy pick to make for complexity. And now goPRO, they'll need to diversify their damage just a little bit, but a lot of these big physical damage dealers are out. You got the Gyro, PL, Lifesteal. They'll go for the Sven instead. It's the probably most frequently, although lesser seen, counter pick when you're going up against a Juggernaut. Having that additional armor for the team is absolutely incredible. Of course, getting the jump on the Juggernaut is always very nice, but it's all about being able to resist that Omni Slash and then turn around and just annihilate him with your God Strength.
5 seconds remaining.
So, it pretty much is a nice little straight counter pick, and it's also not too terrible up against the IO. May have some difficulty up against the Beastmaster and Lion, however. Really, with the Sven, what you want to be doing, your goal is get in really hard, and then, take 2 kills right off the bat with your Blink Dagger and the God Strength. If you get disabled, you're screwed, man. Because as soon as you lose that tempo as the Sven, as soon as you fail to get that burst kill onto the hero who you initiated on, then you're going to get kited to hell. Like, Beastmaster will have the pets on you. Of course, there's disables on the Lion. IO is killable, but is going to give someone a lot of extra movement speed, so that is the concern for goPRO. They're leaning very heavily on being able to just crash in extremely hard, get a free pick off or two, and then try to win the fight from there on out. Certainly very possible, but if that ever fails, then they might be in a little bit of trouble.
10 seconds remaining.
Abaddon will be banned out. Complexity still looking for their mid laner.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't really know. I mean, you could just go for a Viper and have even more screw you power versus that Sven with that Viper Strike. Again, lots and lots of magic damage coming out from goPRO, who I assume at this point are just going to have the pretty classic Sven safe lane, Puck mid, Dark Willow, and Rubik on the support. That's a lot of damage, and Lion and Io certainly have to worry about that, but yeah, it depends on how far they catch the Beastmaster up in the lane. The kill power is definitely there from goPRO, so Complexity really do have to lean on either playing defensively or have some sort of vision. Call, on the other hand, just looking for that mid lane. The pool is not pared down all that much. Surprising that there's just no Razor at all here. goPRO will go with the Venomancer. Pretty interesting pickup. A hero that is willing to pick up a couple more of these defensive tools, but really it's all about enabling that Sven. It typically is whenever you're going to pick up a Sven. You can't really spread the love too much. And of course, Puck Veil, mentioned earlier, gets pretty freaking broken when you're with the Venomancer as well. That damage is something that the IO and the Lion, even though, they would like to have some healing, and IO usually does get some. It's just way too much dot from that Veno. So goPRO getting some longevity in their fights at this point with the Venomancer. A couple of extra slows, a little bit of extra control, helping to make that Sven's life a little bit more easy as far as getting in there and staying on a particular target. But of course, this Juggernaut is going to be so completely immune. The Viper ban definitely makes quite a bit of sense, as magic resistance would have completely screwed them over. Absolutely would have, but ooh, we got an Alchemist. Okay. Alchemist is certainly an interesting one here for Complexity. Now, we don't really have any sort of, amazing trademarked IO duo. That's fine, you don't need that. As long as you're able to get the IO a safe enough lane where he's not really going to be always under the gun 24/7, usually you're going to be pretty happy. Really, as IO, you can do level 1 their shenanigans, but it's not really the strongest thing. You really want to just sit back and farm. You want to play a zero engagement game, which is something that goPRO probably won't enable because, they got Dark Willow, they got Rubik, and a hell of a lot of aggressive early game cores. So IO's life might be a little bit difficult. But now Complexity can go for that late game. And though the Sven has a pretty good shot at just, blasting apart that Alchemist for a good portion of the game, at a certain point, the Sven's damage is really going to be the only damage that is going to be relevant. Everyone else, that magic damage, really, really powerful, but as the Alchemist gets these higher levels of Chemical Rage, what patch are we in? Aren't we in like 7.11 or something like that? I thought we were. I don't know why we're still having patch notes there for Chemical Rage from 0.08. I don't know the numbers anymore, guys. There's too many numbers. But, you know, as you get all this regen, then, like, this damage over time magic style of goPRO might just fall short. At any rate, I don't know if goPRO's draft is inherently aggressive enough outside of having a huge win in the lanes to sufficiently punish an Alchemist. So that is why Alchemist is good. The reason why Alchemist is bad is that compLexity, they're working now with 3 melee cores up against a ton of goPRO heroes that just absolutely shit on melee cores. Of course, Terrorize is an absolute all-star. Cursed Crown is amazing. Bramble Maze, well, I mean, you got that. You're going up against a Sven, who is one of the better cores to have up against a massive amount of melee cores, and even like low range cores. IO is usually pretty typically close to those fights because you can blast them apart. Of course, Venomancer, Puck, they're all the same. So it is going to be compLexity's fights that are going to be, at least I expect them to be, just a little bit crowded. And that is going to be a problem, because if they're not able to keep their positioning, if they're not able to fight different heroes instead of, you know, fighting 5-on-5, they kind of want to fight 5 1-on-1s, if that makes any sense, or just try to, you know, jump in on someone, get the kill immediately, then kind of spread out. Otherwise, risk a lot of serious punishment. Oh, Z-Freak really wants that bounty rune. And, oh, Frogos and Save, though, really want Kitrak. Welcome to compLexity. He's going to get hit with the hammer, and he is so dead right now. Blood drawn by Frugos. I actually have not seen Frugos in a game before. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a... I'm not going to go there. By the way, we do have, what's the bounty splits? Okay, we got 2, whoa, that's a lot of bounty runes. Only 1 for compLexity there, so again, not really sure how much that actually matters since the bounty runes have been changed, but still a little bit of a taste of what this lane can do from goPRO, and a little bit of a taste of what this lane can't do for compLexity. We have seen dual lanes like this, where you have just this really, really bulky strength hero, get all the regeneration, all the movement speed, then they just kind of bully the enemy supports, exactly like this. However, Save is going to have the Bramble Maze, Moo's going to walk right through it. Z-Freak's getting a lot of damage from this Rubik just with pure right clicks, but now the Beastmaster's willing to turn around. It is a really, really powerful way to play this lane up against certain lanes. I'm not sure if Beastmaster is the type of hero that is really going to excel in this style, though. I think the most successful I've seen this dual lane combo... Oh, Kitrak in a little bit of trouble. Just gonna get sniped by the Puck? That's 2 deaths for the Lion. I mean, I can't say that's too abnormal. Lions typically die a lot, which is just gonna happen. But yeah, the most successful lane setup I've seen with the IO and the dual offlane capacity has been with Legion Commander, because you do have that nuking power, you have a lot of movement speed, you could dive the creep wave and get rewarded for doing so. Beastmaster doesn't quite have that. So this lane is going to be one where Z-Freak is kind of going to be in the back pocket here, just in case Moo gets into a shitty situation. He's going to try to chase after that Dark Willow, but lol, Shadow Realm can't target him. Hits him pretty darn hard here. There is a Sven, but I mean, the advantage of this is that Sven really doesn't want to be fighting early on. You would think, hey, he has a stun, and he's not that bad at fighting early on, and he's really... That's kind of false. I mean, he's not bad at, like, initiating onto someone soft, but he's not really good at these long exchanges where the fights just kind of drag on. Especially going up against someone like a Beastmaster who's just so tanky. So, hitting him with pure physical, and then, you know, kind of building into extra points in Great Cleave, and getting the War Cry, both of which do no extra damage to the Beastmaster. Typically not going to be what a Sven wants to be doing. Right now, though, Moo is kind of running around unpunished. Is kind of splitting experience, although not that much with Z-Freak. We do have other lanes, and they're a little bit more boring, although this one's going to pick up a little bit. Husky just chasing forward on Limp, tried to block him off with the tree. That didn't really do all that much. I think Tango was maybe on cooldown there, but either way, they're going to try to go for Moo now, up towards top. Shadow Realm, Hammer, lots of damage, but now he's back into his tower, so he gets a little bit extra armor. Not quite enough. Husky v Limp, round 2, although the Acid, it's not quite Venom, but still hurts quite a bit there, so the Venomancer's got to be a little bit careful. An absolute brawl fest over in the mid lane. Should be a lane that kind of draws even, assuming no one gets picked off by themselves. And it's certainly feasible for that to happen, although Limp, he's going to need some regen. The Courier's kind of slacking, all the way going towards the bottom lane now, where Chessie and Kitrak, you know, should be having a pretty decent time. They're not able to apply that much pressure to the Puck, though, just because Lion doesn't have that much disable. He has a lot of disable, but not enough to deal with the Puck with no additional third disable coming in. So they could do this, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. He can orb out phase and then get to safety. A lot of damage, and it is certainly going to be a threat that the puck has to worry about, so he can't go too far up the lane. But he is still going to stay alive. He still has quite a lot of experience coming into his wave, coming into his lane, as we have 2 range creeps and a full wave of melees going into this tower. So there's a lot of experience gained here for this puck. In the meantime, Furios is looking at Moo. I don't really know if you could ever do anything versus this Beastmaster, though. They don't quite know where the IO is, I don't think, but I mean, that doesn't really matter.
Invisibility.
As of right now, though, Radiant side CS just a little bit better. Trying to go for the puck one more time. Will just fail. You can see Husky going for a pretty aggressive kill build. 3 points in that Venomous Gale. So just looking for all the fights once you get a little bit more experience. Still getting a lot out of the lane. No sense leaving when you still can get a little bit more. But ooh, save. Getting bullied out by the IO now. That feels bad. Trying to go for that courier IO. I believe in you, Z-Freak. I believe in you. As of right now, the lane's still going pretty well for compLexity. It's not going to be the super punishing dual lanes, but they're just making sure that they're getting farm on all these lanes, and they are getting quite a bit of it. Over in the mid lane now, TP coming in from Z-Freak, helping Limp a little bit more. Husky once again. Lots of damage onto this Alchemist, but with that sustain from that healing, it's just not quite enough. And you can see as soon as they see Z-Freak show up in mid, they make an aggressive attempts towards top. Moo still sticking around, though. There is a telekinesis here from the Rubik. He did not see this coming, and now a Fade Bolt, easy kill. That movement from the Rubik so quickly up to the top lane before the IO can really get there, before anyone can really get there. They just get the jump on Moo. No observers in this area. In fact, there's 1 obs on the map. There is 1 obs on the map, and Kitrak's going to die one more time. Puck doesn't even have the coil yet, but this Juggernaut hasn't really any ways of saving an ally as clunky as the Lion. You can see he can now afford some extra movement speed, but level 3 Lion is not really a great place to be. If you are able to scrape together level 6, find a free lane thanks to, say, a jungling Alchemist, or hell, even a Beastmaster can take to the jungle and not be absolutely terrible at it. That's the great way of getting the Lion back into the game and actually having him be effective without just being fodder. In top lane, though, Scourge gonna drop that hammer onto Moo. Lift up is there. They're gonna change their focus onto Z-Freak instead. Brambleblaze catches them both, and they will take the IO down now. Looking for that Beastmaster in the trees, trying to juke. He'll go up to the north. There are much more juking options up there, but now he's with the Cursed Crown and the Chain Stun with the hammer. Boom, boom, dead. Double kill for Scourge McDuck, and immediately teleports back to the base. Well, Husky has free time in the meantime. A pretty good standard play from the Alchemist, as they do land the Hex onto the puck. Spike is there as well. Chessie is just short to being able to Omni Slash with a couple right clicks. I think they should still have this puck trying to hide in the trees. Not quite gonna happen. It will finally take down this puck on the bottom lane. And Chessie still is having an absolutely great time. Kitrak, maybe not as much so, but you know what? Still, Kitrak is able, if he's able to get control of the lane, I think he probably should just go mid. Someone definitely has to go mid here. Not because of the Venomancer and his pushing, because there's no one farming that lane. Limp is on Alchemist, like one of the best heroes in the game, I want to say, about just going into the jungle for a couple minutes and then just being completely safe in doing so. Unless someone on goPRO decides to smoke up or something like and move towards the Alchemist, he's completely safe in being able to jungle. Moo is not safe, though, nor is Z-Freak. Shadow Realm being charged up. Who do they want to go for? They want the IO, and they will probably get the IO. Z-Freak is not exactly known as a tanky hero, this 1 armor, 660 HP hero. Another easy kill, and they're just demanding so much attention to go towards that top lane. You can see, though, goPRO, even though they do have a 6-kill lead, is only 1.5-ish K in their favor. Not exactly extraordinary right now, but this is going to be a big problem, this Venomancer. Constantly shoving in the wave. Limp will be able to collect a lot of cash off of this mid lane, constantly pushing, and that's kind of great for the Alchemist. But he really wants to be able to push out the wave, and then go to the jungle, kill these, and then go back to the wave and not have his tower be dead by that time. And with Husky's build now kind of deviating into these Plague Wards, if he does decide to leave the lane, his tower is just gonna die. So the Alchemist net worth right now, this is not where you want to be. He doesn't really have any farming options unless someone else comes in and tries to kill off this Venomancer. But who's it going to be? It's sure as hell not going to be Z-Freak. Okay. T-Tors, whatever. They kill off the puck. It's great for Kittrack again, great for Chessie, but this lack of Alchemist farm is certainly going to be troublesome. You can see he leaves the lane for a couple seconds, and all of a sudden, before he can even start farming that, his tower is under siege. Yeah, he's probably going to get this pull. He will get the pull, so he will have a lot of gold banked up there. goPRO in the meantime, level 5 on the Dark Willow. Jeez. Level 4 on the Rubik. Will run into the Kittrack Lion. This right here is the Battle of Sentry. Offensive, no field. Uh-oh. I mean, it's not like defensive no field would have helped him here. Just put into the blender. Tries to make some space or something. He's dead anyway. Immediately shrined up, so... yeah, they will be able to get a free Rubik kill. You can see this puck, though, right back on the horse. Phase boots on the puck, even. Gotta get that mobility. Yeah, base damage up against these two heroes. You can't really apply a lot of constant pressure on you. It's not too bad, either. What if he is going to go for the Veil, or if he even has it? He's working. Has those double nulls. If I can press the button... this item is going to be an absolute all-star. Especially if the Bedlam comes out in time. And it should line up at a pretty decent timing. Oh, Limp. So safe at defending this lane for like the past 5 times. Then the 6th time gets jumped. Curse Crown on him. With the Bramble Maze here as well. And Alchemist is doomed to fall. They also do root up Kittrack just for a split second. A couple of right clicks shouldn't really be doing all that much, as Save is not going to die to the tower because that would be foolish. Easy dive onto the Alchemist. Kittrack is going to wander a little bit too close to some neutrals. Although the neutrals are kind of, they're fair. They're not racist. They will hit everyone equally. Easy movement onto that Alchemist. Dark Willow, still not quite at that level 6 mark, but definitely is getting there. Omni Slash onto the Rubik. Oh, the Haste Rune grab, though. Woo, that Omni Slash. I'm pretty sure this Bracer just saved that Rubik's bacon. He's going to go for drums first. And yeah, that definitely saved his ass. Didn't have that, he would be dead for sure. And of course, Haste Rune. Although, I guess only double damage really kind of screws him there. That doesn't do anything. Illusion might save him. Invisibility definitely saves him. Currently, though, Call still are doing a pretty decent job at using this CS to just stay afloat. Timing hasn't really come in yet, though. The Alchemist really does need a little bit of extra time, just now starting that build up towards that Radiance. Not going to go for an Armlet. Straight in towards that Relic. And this is a really powerful timing that goPRO can hit. The fact that the Alchemist right now will have a lot of gold tied up into just nothing. Sitting on 2k gold right now, yeah, this Alchemist is essentially a non-factor. Only that Acid Spray is at all a threat, and even then, not that dangerous. Now's the time to kill him, now's the time to kill his friends, or kill the towers, or all of the above. It's Curse Crown, not quite yet on Limp, but they will drop the Bramble Maze. 2-man stun with Chessie coming in as well. Maybe they overcommit a little bit too much on Limp here, as Frugas is going to get hit with that spin. Kittrack's taking a lot of damage and will go down, but they will trade the Rubik for him. Off in the backside, Bedlam onto Moo will do a lot of damage with Saves already really banged up. Chessie will put him in the ground. But again, a trade. It's another 1-for-1. Or I guess it's a 2-for-2 ultimately. As both the supports from the Dire side will go down, but of course top lane currently empty. Scourge gonna pop that God Strength and just go to work. Limp is gonna be here, and we can see what damage a Sven can do. That was without the Mask of Madness, and that was actually not too bad, all things considered. The fact that compLexity were able to get out of there with Limp, that's a big deal. He just picked up an Armlet? Yeah, he just got an Armlet, okay. I was gonna say, like, going for the Radiance in this situation when you don't really have any huge space creators is incredibly dangerous. So going for the Armlet definitely is a little more of a cautious maneuver. Kittrack, being stalked by an invisible snake. The snake now has a little bit of a juicier target. And seeing that Armlet, though, it's a tough nut for a Venomancer to crack, even when he does have supports. They'll just go for the tower instead. Easy tower to be claimed. Veil picked up on the Venomancer, not the Puck, who should be going for Blink. Yep. Blink soon to be up here. Once you have that, it'll be go time pretty much. Don't want to sit on these plague wards for too long. You got the levels in them. Oh, are they just gonna kill off the Juggernaut? You gotta be really careful doing this as the Puck, especially since that healing ward just takes another right click, and sometimes you just can't afford that. So he'll just teleport back to the tower, but he drops the coil, is able to get the Juggernaut out of that lane. Chessie now up towards top. Not gonna be surprised someone with an Omni Slash, and they will find save. There is no Shadow Realm to save you versus that quick Hex. And they will dice up the Dark Willow. Get the kill on the tower as well, more than likely. Chessie kind of living life on the edge there, but yeah, they do have an IO. Can come in and give them a little bit of extra juice. To beat even tower trade. This is perfectly fine for complexity. As long as they're gaining towers and making sure that their base is not completely being pushed, then Limp should be happy. Of course, they would rather have 0 towers traded total. Like, if no towers are falling, then complexity will be happy with that as well. Gotta get as much map control for this Alchemist as possible. And they are trying. You can see complexity really aggressively shoving that top wave. There's a roar here from Moo. And looks like he may have another target here, Dark Willow. If you're quick on the draw, I think you're just almost completely safe. You can still get spiked. Oh, careful. I don't know if they know. Okay, they definitely do know. And there's the Hex. And she's dead. Suddenly 5 heroes on this top lane. Tower already down to half HP. Unfortunately, the tether is not on the right targets to do a little bit extra damage to that tower, but trying to race on bottom. So tier 2 for tier 2. There's a lot more trading in this game than I really thought there would be, honestly. But it looks like goPRO are in a little bit of a better position to get a third. Not lose anything in the process. Everyone's going to TP out of top lane. They'll be just fine. But this is even before the timing from goPRO is really at its fullest. Now the Blink Dagger is up on the Puck, with the Veil on the Venomancer. And the Sven is very close to an SNY. Getting that initiation off is so deadly. I wasn't talking about this initiation, but it'll work also. Puck gonna get hit with that roar, easy kill. More talking about Puck's initiation onto someone else with complexity. Getting that Sven in there, using that coil, keep the enemies in position. Or you can just coil terrorize, like that works too. I feel like unless you really screw up, that should result in a coil snap every single time. Yeah, 4 seconds of running away. Maybe if they're hit with the Gale, they're too slow to run away or something like that. But if you could force that snap, whoo baby, that's some damage. And of course, stun duration control, so that the Sven can just go off on them. They're still pushing this top lane though. Moo is being very persistent. As powerful as Sven and Venomancer are at pushing waves, this Beastmaster, even though he only has level 2 Beast, level 2 Call of the Wild, is still an absolute monster in shoving these waves. If you can't get on top of the Beastmaster, he will stay up here all day long. Constantly split push, and this is the space creation method that Call have, and really it's the only one. Like, they can't really go around with like a Queen of Pain and pick off heroes and stuff like that. Like, they do have to some extent the ability to do so once Chessie completes up the Shadow Blade. The Lion doesn't have any form of initiation. The IO really can't do anything right now except for help his chorus, so he's not really a relevant hero. In the offensive capacity, that is. They just have to kind of split push. Hope for pickoffs. If they can get him, great, but you know, if they can't get him, that's not really a terribly huge deal. Roar, ooh. Almost in range of that Puck. They'll just camp out these 2 heroes up towards top and just constantly shove it in. If things ever get dangerous, just jump out of there with that IO. Probably will lose the IO, but it's still all this pressure that's not being applied to this Alchemist. And because of that lack of pressure, suddenly he's at Relic Gold. goPRO, they're struggling to deal with Moo up towards top lane. You can see, just they've sent a couple of heroes up towards that top lane. They've sent them one at a time, and those heroes have all been picked off. So it's like, do we send another hero in one at a time? You never know. Maybe this time it'll work. If they just kill off this Beastmaster and IO once, though, they have a really big opening to get something done. Till that happens, though, they are just in a stalemate farm situation, and we can see that is not working in their favor. Not really the steepest of climbs here for complexity, but just having an Alchemist while you have no pressure on you is typically going to mean you are winning the game. Not like you're going to win the game, you are in the process of winning the game, is what I meant. Limp is chilling, man. Did he just buy something? I thought he had... Okay, he bought the recipe. Like, I thought he had Relic Gold already. Why get Relic when you can get Radiance, right? Some next level tips here on BTS Stream 1. Turns out Radiance is actually just better than the Relic. Who knew? goPRO need to use this Puck's Blink Dagger for more than just that, because that did nothing. They have really all the tools that they could want right now, except for map control. They have to make sure to use some of these tools, get on top of this Beastmaster, or whoever's pushing top lane at the time. It should be Beastmaster most of the time. Get him killed off, and then you can go for an aggressive move versus this Alchemist, or versus the Alchemist's towers. Until that happens, though, well, they will do a lot of damage to KitTrack. Curse Crown Bedlam, oh, not quite enough. Now the coil comes in, and KitTrack will be sniped. Chessie does have a spin. He's just going to straight challenge that puck. Gets hit with the hammer somehow. He had spin. You just didn't see the Sven. Maybe he was like not looking there, but elsewhere, looks like Z-Freak and Moo not really able to do that much. Maybe he was just, camera was over here. I didn't expect Sven like hammer up from the low ground, but he definitely had spin. Could have definitely gotten rid of that hammer. Roar. Don't roar yet. Nothing to roar there. Now there is. Short jump. Not quite good enough. The axes will miss, though. Necro units will not be able to finish off that puck as Z-Freak trying to get out of there. Will yank himself out, but is probably screwed unless there's no true sight. For sure there's true. There's no way. There's no true sight. All right, Io. Here we go. It works. It's a miracle. Hallelujah. Z-Freak has got it. Okay. Oh. Okay, no, they saw him move, but he is going to TP out. There's no coil. He used it. And he is free and clear. It's a pretty good fight there for the Dire side. Able to get the jump on, you know, maybe not the most important hero to kill in that Lion, but they also get that Juggernaut, we'll say, off of pure skill. Top lane tower will be killed off by the Sven in the meantime. Actually, no, Chessie got it. Wow, I didn't even see him attack. Okay, Juggernaut subtle with the blade. Those are the type of engagements that I feel like goPRO didn't really look for. They just kind of stumbled into. Actively searching for more engagements like that, that's how you win in this game as the Dire side. So far, not really the most success in doing so. Kind of all just split up. I mean, they have another Blink Dagger now up on the Sven. Of course, with the SMY, the Mask of Madness, he is almost completely ready to go. They do see Chessie. Husky is going to show them that they do have a sentry in that area.
A prize.
Is it really just gonna come down to a split push game? I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with everyone just farming for 30 minutes. That's not fun Dota, man. We do have Mood, though, at this point. Still not quite maxed out in his pushing power, but has that maxed out call, which will be stolen here. Pretty nice grab there on the Rubik. But still, these waves will be shoved in so persistently. Chessie on top lane, shoving that one in. Moo giving a little bit of advantage towards mid. Bottom lane is pushing towards the Radiant base here. But that's where the Alchemist catches the farm. And we can see this very defensive-oriented build on this Alchemist. Going for Armlet, going for Radiance, that's all standard. Having gone for Power Treads before that, that's a little bit less standard. And now he's going to get jumped with all the nukes in the world and the stun lock forever. He's dead for sure. Terrorized immediately onto the relocating targets. That's almost going to kill off both of them. Chessie will spin away. A couple more right clicks. Z-Freak's not dead yet either. The healing war is going to go down. They will actually get to safety. That heal is so intense. They will pick off the Rubik, but at the cost of that line and probably Moo as well, as Scourge is being kited and he's really suffering from it, but he's still getting the kills regardless. compLexity now. They are under siege. Chessie is alive. Z-Freak is alive as well. Blink Dagger on the Sven. Absolutely imperative they keep canceling it. And that was still pretty good for goPRO, although do think it could have been just a little bit better. They're able to get on top of that jug with a little bit of extra damage. Still, that is how hard goPRO can crash into these fights. Easily slaughter a couple heroes, use the Terrorize afterwards, and maybe you got yourself an easy fight. Problem is that they didn't get any objectives off of that. They didn't pull out any buybacks, they did not kill Chessie, nor did they kill this Io. And ultimately, the tower takes barely any damage. So, though that is great for the Dire side, that is absolutely fantastic for them to take that engagement. It didn't really accomplish anything for them, and now they're right back into the same exact game state where they're kind of just gonna try to wait and race this Alchemist's farm. And again, I'm not really sure if that's a viable way of winning this game if you're goPRO. compLexity are more than okay chilling, especially now that the Alchemist has that BKB. Probably gonna go for a little bit extra health next talent. I mean, either way, man, he is a lot tankier than an Alchemist would be. The bottom line, like, usually Alchemist doesn't get the BKB. He's gonna go for Travels, Command Style, oh, they will look for the Dark Willow. By the way, when Dark Willow is in Shadow Realm, I can't even click on her. I don't have that power. She's untargetable even to casters. He's gonna be just fine. It's gonna go for Octarine usually. Limp is gonna have that a little bit later thanks to this BKB build, but is gonna let him fight. Jump in, coil onto 3. Although Chessie's gonna get the spin now. They line up for a spike as well from the line. Kitrak lands it perfectly, although it's stolen and returned back from the Rubik. And so far, no one is out of the Omni Slash. Gonna bounce over to Frugas. Does kill off Husky and save. They will both fall, and everyone in Complexity in really good shape, honestly. The poison, it might do a little bit of damage, might get some casualties, but it will not kill the Lion, will not kill off Chessie, and they have a shrine here as well that, oh no, you don't want to go up there, Puck. Bad idea. The Impale is once again is there in Kitrak. That's a great way of making your case for, hey guys, I'm going to play for Complexity now. Easily just land a 3-man spike. Of course, that steal from the Rubric was absolutely impeccable as well, but I feel like something happened there where the Sven jumped in, had Stormhammer, but didn't use Stormhammer. Anyone else see that? Like, they dropped the coil into 3, but the Sven, I think, may have gotten stunned immediately upon blinking in because something happened there. Everyone's going to get caught in the maze. Chessie, though, going to dash forward. He is going to spin off that crown, does have the Aegis as well, so he's really not concerned at all. And he will back off. Ooh, Puck, careful there. So, yeah, something must have happened there to that Sven because the coil should have been there. And then the Stormhammer should have been there to cancel any spell casts, but I'm not really sure what happened. At any rate, that's going to be a resounding win for the Complexity side. As the initiation from goPRO falters just a little bit. Now they're working with the Juggernaut with a double life. Now the Alchemist, he did use that BKB earlier. Actually going to go for a Blink Dagger, so going for even more fightiness right now than just kind of farm efficiency. Ooh, Juggernaut once again. Gonna dodge that Sven. And Lou will find the Venomancer. Z-Freak's here as well. The Necro units, the army, the zoo. Or step down from Husky, but I think he's just dead to right clicks. And here comes Scourge React coming in onto Z-Freak and onto Moo as well with the Cursed Crown, ensuring they get the kill. Even using Bedlam there. They will also find a couple more, though. Chessie and Kitrak are both here to help out Limp. Trying to chase after the Sven. With the War Cry, he is out and free. Although the Puck, maybe not as luckily, will get brought down, terrorized a little bit too late from save. They do still end up saving that Sven. Awkward spot for Complexity to be in with this Alchemist on the high ground, everyone else on the low ground. Definitely awkward, but Chessie comes in and shows off what damage a Juggernaut can do. Hasn't gone for any sort of farm accelerants, really, as his Jugs. Again, really aggressive kind of space-creating build on this Juggernaut. But hey, if he's able to get in there with that Shadow Blade, can absolutely destroy anyone. Kitrak, he can pretty much do the same in a little bit once he gets that Blink Dagger gold up, which he's actually not too far away from, all things considered. We're doing some heavy lifting on this Lion outside of that really clunky early game, but that's what you expect from Lion. He's pretty shit at level 1, but once you get to level 13, man oh man, do you have options. Especially when you have a Blink Dagger as well. And the Alchemist, 2 shoes for 2 feet makes sense. Though I guess this guy has 4 feet, right? Because he has the gnome guy on the back, if he's a gnome. I don't know if he's a gnome. The gnome-looking guy? Is that racist of me? Maybe. Hot Pocket. Assuming this guy's race. I'm gonna go for the Shiva's Guard next. Definitely a little bit indecisive what he wants to get, but as long as you are getting items as an Alchemist, man, you can get whatever the hell you want. If you don't like it in a couple minutes, just get rid of it and get a new item, because you're rich. That is the power of Greevil's Greed. Spray stolen by Frugas, and yeah, this is going to be a game where it looks like Complexity may just have a kind of never-ending climb in their net worth. Chessie, the Courier is going to be spotted by the Puck, but of course that's going to reveal to the Complexity side that there is a Puck in that area, so Chessie's going to be just fine, so will the Courier. Limp will run into the Puck. Gotta watch out for that Radiance burn. You can orb out, but Kitrak's waiting. There's a Hex with your name on it, bro. Okay, maybe no Spike with your name on it. Blink out to the south. And there is someone else to intercept. No, that's just Z-Freak. He's getting jumped already by the Sven. Orb coming through, Z-Freak and Limp in a compromised position. They're trying to focus down this IO, which is the smart thing to do with the Bedlam. They will get him, but maybe at the cost of their puck. That's a little bit too expensive. Now Limp for Scourge, and the man fight of the century will result into no kills as everyone's going to disengage away. Chessie's elsewhere, killing off that Rubik. Alchemist needs a little bit of help. Where's that IO's? He's actually dead already, so that's why he's not helping. Omnislash goes in onto the Venomancer, bouncing over to the creep wave mostly. Some random creep waves here. Now she's trying to challenge that Sven. Not gonna happen. This is why you pick Sven up against the Juggernaut, because you can do stuff like this. The Purge comes in, and with the axes, they will kill off Scourge. Now looking for save. Chessie gonna dash forward one more time with the healing ward. Still has the Aegis, so he's really not in any danger whatsoever. On to save. Does have a Shadow Realm. Does have a TP. Centaur Stomp. Doesn't that work? Doesn't that work? I don't know, guys. Not gonna happen. It'll still be a push.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And Limp, ooh, he traveled up towards the top lane, where the wave was already really aggressively pushed in. Husky's here, save is here as well. But I don't know if they can actually do much damage here. They can stall this. Curse Crown, the maze, kind of helps out a little bit. But it's not going to save this tower, and might not save their racks either. With no Sven, there's really no way to get in there and really kill off that Alchemist efficiently. Going to be thrown in. The coil is dropped as well. Will do about nothing. Chessie still has that Aegis. Just for a couple more seconds, though. He's going to Shadow Blade away. Or I guess Silver Edge away. He's got that upgrade now at this point. And easy melee racks. Nice focus from compLexity. Now up to a 12k lead, goPRO. Taking what looked like a really good fight. But again, the problem with Sven just inherently as a hero is that if you don't get kills right off of the Blink initiation, you are going to get kited. Even with having Mask of Madness, Sanjin Yasha, getting that Warcry movement speed, there's just way too many things that you have to worry about in the middle of the fight, and you also have to be hitting the enemies, and no one else is going to be doing it on your team, so you're the only one who's really going to be hitting your opponents. And now with the Shiva's Guard, it's going to get even more difficult for the Sven to do all the damage himself. And the Venomancer, he does have quite a bit of damage to offer, as does the Puck, but when they get hit so hard trying to go for that IO kill, it's like, you know, congrats, you got the IO, but you also wasted a lot of tools for it. You can jump in towards Limp. This is how you want to deal with the Alchemist, and they will clean him up before anything else happens. In the back of the two-man coil, the return fire with the Roar, trying to go for save, and they will get the kill, but already the damage has been done, as also Chessie in the back will get cleaned up by the Sven. Buyback from the Dark Willow, looking to chase forward. Moo is in a really bad spot right now, because there's a Puck on his tail. He is looking really slow, thanks to a little bit of extra Poison Sting, and yeah, with now Husky closing in, there is no chance here for this Beastmaster. No TP. He is going to... Oh, what is that? Z-Freak died elsewhere. Can they give him the Rampage? No, they're just going to kill him. Super tanky on that Beastmaster. But, yeah, it's still not going to be enough when there's that many heroes there, and that is exactly what you need to do as this Sven. Get in there, immediately kill off the Alchemist or the Juggernaut. Really, either one, it works. And you can see the speed at which the Sven is able to kill off these heroes. It is so fast if you are able to get the initiation off like that. No time at all for Z-Freak to interfere. Like, the best thing you can do is start channeling the relocate, which I think he did immediately. That's why he got picked off so late in that fight. Drop a medallion on him, like maybe Glimmer, but at this point, Glimmer is not going to work for like invisibility, so like magic resistance, it's going to help versus the Venomancer versus Puck, but it's not going to do jack versus the Sven. And it will be melee racks for melee racks with the top lane still being pushed. Something that goPRO do have to deal with. Limp is going to hit with the Curse Crown, and we'll go with the Bedlam, Stormhammer as well, and just crushed! Kitrak, did anyone even hit Kitrak? I don't even know if a single hero hit Kitrak there. He just died in random AoE. They will take the entire racks, but the top lane is in full breach here. goPRO are going to ignore that because, you know, why defend when you can attack? Best defense, good offense, right? That's what they say. The lane on top will cause a lot of damage, but it will eventually stabilize for the Dire thanks to the tier 4s. Chessie gonna start spinning forward. No Alchemist. This is incredibly dangerous. He is gonna get spotted with some vision. Now caught in the Bramble Maze. Scourge does not have a BKB, nor does he have God Strength. You see he's not doing any damage unless he changes focus onto the IO, and they will kill off both of them in the end thanks to that Bedlam. Oh no, this is really falling apart for compLexity. Deciding to take that fight was extremely aggressive. And even with no God Strength, this Sven still an absolute monster, and we can see save the Dark Willow, the least net worth, okay, least net worth in the game, yet still just absolutely destroying both the Jug and the IO in that previous engagement. Unfortunately for him, it's probably... Okay, I'm not really sure if he deserved that. That was maybe a little bit too much. But he's dead now. That's why he's on the bottom net worth, I'm pretty sure. But still, that is going to be a Rax trade in the end. And ultimately, the gold lead, it's right back down to 0. The handful of... I don't know if they're more bad fights for complexity or good fights for goPRO. Maybe a little bit of each. But the initiations have, for the past couple of fights, gone entirely the way of this Dire team. You can see complexity, not to be deterred, will go straight towards the Roshan pit. goPRO without that Dark Willow will not have the Terrorize, usually the tool in order to crash this. So they will jump in, Nova pretty much onto everyone. They can't land a hammer onto the Alchemist, nor can they land on Chessie, so Scourge is not doing anything in this fight with Limp. Just going to town onto that Venomancer. He's not going to get the kill just yet, but still, he's not doing anything in this fight. Scourge now is going to get stunned immediately after that BKB ends. He's trying desperately to go after Z-Freak, but Chessie's on his ass, and that's not going to happen, Sven. He's going to go down. Oh man, that initiation, it's all about that jump in. We can see time and time again, if Sven's able to land a hammer, really on anyone, it doesn't matter, anyone, then it works out really well for goPRO. He jumps in like that. Suddenly, there are 2 targets. One's a BKB'd Alchemist, so clearly you cannot hammer him. The other one's a spinning Juggernaut, so clearly you cannot hammer him. So what the hell do? You walk around, try to do a little bit of damage, but by now Chessie has that double life. Z-Freak got a tower kill, okay. Right-clicking from the IO is obviously amazing. There's a cheese floating around here as well. Maybe someone used it. Does it really matter? Over in the mid lane, they're being pushed, and we do have Puck trying to cut the wave a little bit, but Kitrak's going to jump right in. Caution chase onto Dark Willows. They do land once again a Nova onto everyone, but there's no one to actually seal the deal here onto any of these kills. Bedlam's going to come in. Chessie is maybe going to lose his Aegis. Z-Freak, I think, tethered the wrong thing. Chessie, is he... Yeah, he's going to get dotted out.
Did you not?
Damage over timed. Does that make sense? I don't know if that does. But he's going to lose that Aegis. Where's that cheese? Where did that cheese get off to?
Shrine is under attack.
Unless that was the second Roche. Okay, maybe someone consumed the cheese. We'll say the cheese got lost in the chaos of that fight.
Dire's bottom shrine has fallen.
But having a Sven go in there with no viable targets, like you at least need a viable target. Kill a lion, it doesn't matter. That's Hex off the board. That's no Finger of Death, which I haven't seen Kitrak use all that much actually. Now that I think of it, but yeah, that's just the night and day difference. And that is exactly why you want to have a Dark Willow picked off when you go for Roche. Otherwise, you throw in that Terrorize, suddenly everyone's walking in this direction, that's when you drop the Coil, that's when you drop the Nova, that's when you drop the Sven's Hammer onto everyone, and that's when you clean up. No Dark Willow, though, significantly decreases the effectiveness of pretty much everyone else from goPRO as well, so just such a varied support hero, this Dark Willow. Like, still, even with the least net worth in the game, has the potential of just insta-winning fights for goPRO, thanks to a good Terrorize, thanks to maybe a good Bramble Maze, Focus Fire from Bedlam. So many options. BKB is now up on Chessie, though, has a full 10 seconds on that, with, of course, that spin. So he knows how much magic damage the enemies are putting out. In the meantime, what do we have on Moo? He's gone for the pipe. He's going to go for Blink Dagger, BKB. Alchemist is at that Octarine. At the Octarine, there it is. And now at this point, as Alchemist, Shiva's Guard, probably a necessity up against that Sven. Really don't want to be holding that up against this team, but you kind of have to. Think about... Oh, okay. Getting that courier kill.
Has been killed.
And he is going to get away still with Roar. I don't know if this is enough to use it again. I think it might be. Probably not, though. Doesn't secure the gem, unfortunately, but, you know, still magic piercing tools do work on couriers, because that's what Ice Frog deems balanced. And now Moo gonna get jumped in by the Rubik with a jumper from the Sven as well. They're right on top of the Beastmaster, and then it looks like the gem will actually be gained by goPRO. On the floor, though, that is gonna be the Sven's God Strength used, and God Strength doesn't really have the longest of durations. You can see right now hitting for 600 to pop like an absolute monster, but he's going in towards bottom. No, he's going to jump in towards the Alchemist, kind of blindly at the high ground. Can't quite get the kill for the BKB, comes up on the limb, but now he should be just fine to get out of there. Scourge does have no more God Strength. They will take down the Beastmaster, but the Omni Slash goes in front of Chessie all the way onto the Sven. With the spin there, trying to seal the deal. The damage is enough with the Finger of Death. There it is. Hittrack seals the deal, hit with the Cursed Crown, but he doesn't care. He's fine. Someone's over here. That's going to be the Puck blinking away from that Alchemist stun. And looks like they will get out with everyone else, but that's Sven making that really YOLO move up the high ground, knowing that only a couple of allies can help him there. If he was able to pick off the Alchemist, then he would have been a freaking hero. But you need absolute perfect chain stun in order to make sure that the Alchemist doesn't get the Shiva's Blast off or the BKB off. If he's able to get any of that off, then suddenly things are just not going to work out in your favor, because you committed yourself. You need 4 staffs to get down. Quick 4 staff check. There's 1 4 staff here. Limp's going to stun himself. Arctic Blast does see the puck. He will have a blink out, really just trying to save this gem. He will blink up to the north. Limp doesn't have a blink dagger to follow. Over in the mid lane, in the meantime, though, Chessie is going to just spin off that crown, and is going to be A-okay. A little bit of momentum over in the mid lane. I think they did take down the tower. May have done it before, but either way, the racks in mid lane are now vulnerable. Sven down for 20, and we have the Alchemist. Now, maybe at a point, I mean, you could replace the armlet, but maybe giving some Aghanim Scepters would be just a little bit better here. You can see the IO does have Tether Grant Scepter bonus, which, I mean, the Aghanim Scepter ability on Alchemist is that it gives Aghanim Scepters, so I don't know. It just does nothing. It does nothing. But you know, you have some pretty interesting ones. Scepter Area of Effect. I'm not sure if that's going to be game-winning. This pretty much just makes Primal Roar better in general. More range, lower cooldown, run faster, jump higher, you know, stuff like that. Pretty sure the Omni Slash just gets a little bit of cooldown reduction as well. The Aghanim Scepter effects on complexity are not incredible, let's say. So he's just going to upgrade that armlet instead. Probably the right call. You can go level 2 travels. You can do a lot of things right now as the Alchemist, because still he's on top of the net worth chart. Sven isn't too far behind, to be fair. That's a remarkable amount of farm on this Sven. Although he is going to get initiated on, it looks like. There are already a couple of Plague Wards. These are not super Plague Wards yet.
Double damage.
But going into this area means that you are going to be in full vision the entire time. I think split pushing for a couple more items, probably a little easier here for complexity. Definitely feel that they are in the driver's seat right now, as long as they're able to handle that Sven. And along those lines, is anyone going to get a Halberd? That's a Nullifier on the Juggernaut. That's not bad. Getting rid of that BKB on the Sven. It's like, no, there's going to be none of that. Alright. Well, hey, nullify him. That's not too bad either. And now we got AC and Shiva's Guard, so Sven trying to snipe the Alchemist, not really going to happen. Where is Siegfried going? He's grabbing the mechanism, looks like, which is actually a really good item in this game. Again, lots of kind of spread damage from goPRO. Get a little bit of extra armor once you activate that restore. +2 doesn't sound like a lot, and it's really not at this stage of the game, but you know, getting that extra heal funneled in through that tether, it can do quite a bit. And of course that upgrade, Siegfried has no... What the hell's going on? Really just doesn't have any boots. I was not expecting a bootless IO. I assumed he had boots. But if you upgrade to Guardian Greaves, then it can really, really save your ass up against that Puck Silence. I believe you can get rid of that Gale. Should be able to get rid of that Terrorize, maybe? No, you can't. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't work. You get rid of that Bramble Maze Root. They're going to start sieging this bottom lane. Scourge ready to jump in, but not really on the Alchemist. That's not really viable. They will hit him with the Curse Crown, dump all their magic damage, now throw in the Terrorize as well, but this Alchemist barely took any damage. Now here comes Siegfried, although he will get lifted up, so Limp's forced to stay in this fight. They're focusing instead on Oski, and they'll take him down, and now Limp and Jesse just going off onto everyone. That is going to be a very convincing FU from the Alchemist. Try to focus me? You dare try to focus me? I have AC and Shiva's Guard. I have almost 40 armor. How the hell are you supposed to do that? I don't freaking know. Does he get health from the tether? No, he doesn't. Okay, that would have been... I mean, I can definitely wrap my head around that one. I'm pretty sure that's just not how it works. Time to go for the racks. Everyone and their mom gonna buy out, and once again, like, yup, team time, we got this Puck. Doing the creep cutting, there is no creep wave at all in the bottom lane, and mid lane is not exactly in a good spot either. So those buybacks, you know, maybe still necessary, because I'm pretty sure complexity can beat their way through the backdoor protection to some degree at this point. But still, there are no more buybacks here on the Dire side. Whereas this Alchemist, man, just rolling in the dough.
Regeneration.
I wonder who you give this Aghanim Scepter to.
We'll take
Because he's freaking rich, man. He's absolutely freaking rich. Took the concoction damage, took the damage over the health at level 15. I think both of those are, you know, they're probably good enough so that you're not going to regret going for one over the other. 400 unstable concoction, man. You would think that, like, you look at alchemists, how this hero is played, you're like, oh, easy 30% cleave. Like, you gotta get that farm, but I don't think I've seen a single person get that. 400 is just so much damage. Oh, Scourge sees Limp. BKB, though, is gonna block that hammer. Now God Strength versus Chemical Rage. Which one is better? Turns out none of them are really that great versus one another. They're going to try to once again get him, but the roar comes in from the side. Limp's getting a lot of backup with the Omnislash bouncing through as well. They will dice up everyone. Husky's the last one to fall, and that is going to be immediately forward down with no buybacks. Limp, he's literal perfect HP. Literally lost no HP from that, and that is going to be the Alchemist game, guys. goPRO, they definitely had a good run. There was definitely a period in that game where it felt like they had a couple of good tools. They were getting the initiations, and you know, they maybe could have gotten maybe a little more of a Rax play, maybe a little more success in general in those games. But it really was that fight in Roche, or I guess lack of fight thereof, where compLexity didn't have to worry about that Dark Willow. They completely neutralized that Sven, blink in, BKB, and then no targets at all. And at that point, like, it was just goPRO trying to race up against the farm of the Alchemist, and that it really wasn't even the issue of the Alchemist. It was the fact that Alchemist was just unkillable. They tried to kill him anyway, which means Chessie was the one killing everyone. I mean, look at where's the damage? Here we go. Wow, Mu has a lot of damage. Okay, maybe Chessie and Beastmaster killed everyone, but like every single time they're thinking Alchemist is the problem. Kill the Alchemist, we win the fight. Not quite the case. You gotta focus Chessie. You gotta focus this soft Juggernaut, but it's so hard to do so when he's bouncing around because you literally cannot target him. Guys, this is going to be game one, the best of three, compLexity versus goPRO. It's just going to be a whole bunch of games here. Optic versus Hooked, I think, is being played right now on one of the other BTS streams. I'm not really sure which one, but I'm Mikelorus, and I'll be right back for game two for compLexity and goPRO to face the winner next of Optic versus Hooked. Be right back, guys.